Hello everyone, P&L Dreamcatchers again. So we're in Missoula right now. We're about 30 minutes south of Missoula, and we are at a beautiful little cabin. It looks like it's on about 5 acres of land, so it's private. And we're filming this way so you can see the river behind us. And this is the Bitterroot River that we're on, and it's one of the prime fly fishing rivers in Montana. So we found this little cabin. It was reasonably priced, and it just looked to be perfect. And so we've had a really good time here. We got here yesterday, and we did a little bit of shopping and went and had lunch in town back in Missoula. And then this afternoon, we got, Lisa got her
bird watching fix.
Water boots, and I got my waders on, and we hiked about a half a mile upriver, and it's just deserted. It was, we had it all to ourselves. Beautiful wilderness river. It's kind of a river runs through it moment, I guess, where I could fly fish, and Lisa was bird watching, and it's just beautiful. And last night we saw behind us, you can see on the island on the other side of the river, there were some deer just wandering around just before dark last night. So we're hoping we'll see
tonight. I
sure hope so. But one thing we didn't mention when we did our hike at Grinnell Glacier, you know, the hotel is and don't quote me on it, but it's around 6,800. I have the exact number written down, but I can't remember exactly what it is.
Expensive.
But about no.
Oh,
I mean the
altitude.
altitude is about 6,800.
The hotel is expensive, however.
It
as
was.
A side note.
Well, it is expensive, but you know, if you consider they're in the middle of the wilderness and there isn't any grocery store nearby and there's no power lines.
And
so
there's a very short season.
It's
to
4
make
months,
your money.
the entire 4 months they have to make the money for the hotel, and they have to run off of generators, and it's just in the middle of the wilderness, and so it's very expensive to run a hotel like that. So, you know, and you're there for the view, you're not there for the accommodation, so, you know, this is a trade-off. But anyway, the hotel it is at about around 6,800 feet altitude, and Grinnell Glacier is around 8,800 feet. So it's about 1,980 foot elevation gain, I think, when we hike that. And the thing I meant to mention on the last video is that, you know, we sort of thought, I haven't hiked above 8,000 feet, and I kind of thought that once we get to that altitude, it would be hard to breathe. But I really didn't notice it at all.
I mean, we were tired just from hiking, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was short of breath.
Right. But yesterday, after we left Glacier National Park, we drove through it to the western side. And honestly, we were hoping for a good view, but the clouds were so thick and so low, you couldn't see a thing. And so, you know, it was about a 50-mile drive from the east side to the west side. And we did that. Once we got out of the park and a little bit lower elevation, the clouds were gone. And then we drove down the western side of the Continental Divide next to a lake called Flathead Lake. And it's about 29 miles long by about 15 miles wide, so it's a very big lake, and it's part of the Flathead Indian Reservation, and
it's gorgeous. I've never seen a bigger, prettier lake.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's huge.
It's like mountain prairie surrounded by mountain peaks on all three sides, and they grow flathead cherries there. And it appeared that the Flathead Indians were doing quite well for themselves. You know, most of the Indian reservations we've been through so far, they have looked extremely poor. Now, of course, all we've seen is what's by the road. So, you know, we haven't driven into them any, and perhaps I like to think that there are better areas. But the Flathead Indian Reservation so far, they look to be doing quite well. and they grow those flathead cherries, and there were still some on the trees. And I thought they were peach trees because the cherries were the size of small peaches.
They really were.
And we've been kind of looking around for them.
Like
but
plums, I guess.
Yeah, they were
like
huge.
Plums.
And, they're just not in season right now, so we haven't been able to find any. But I really piqued my interest. I thought, gee, it'd be fun to eat a cherry, like a small apple or a plum. So we did that. And let's see, what else did I miss? We went into town both days, did some shopping, had a good lunch. We grilled out last night. We had we found the grocery stores have bison steaks here, and the only kind of bison we can get in North Carolina is ground beef bison, not fillets.
Not a steak.
And so we bought 2 fillets, and we cooked them last night on the
Mm-hmm.
grill with some vegetables, and it's a really lean meat. It's better than steak. If we could buy it in North Carolina, I'd buy that instead. But tonight we're going to grill out again, and maybe do a little bit more. I'll probably just walk down to the bank here right before dark, because I hooked on to a really nice trout just before dark last night. So of course everything is catch and release. Even if I could keep it, I wouldn't. I just throw them back. So we'll go down there, walk over there again, and maybe I'll get lucky and catch one. But really, it's not about catching the fish. It's all about just enjoying this beautiful place and being on the river. The temperature is about 70 degrees right now, so and it's about 45 overnight, so it gets pretty cold. But it's just been beautiful. Tomorrow we drive through Bozeman and then on to Livingston, and we'll spend a couple of nights in Livingston, and that's kind of an art town. So there's lots of craft shopping and some interesting restaurants and so forth.
And hair cutting places.
Oh, that's right. You get your hair cut. That's right.
Yeah.
But and then we'll head on down into Yellowstone, and we'll be there for Lisa's birthday. But I guess that's it for now, and so we'll catch up with you perhaps in Livingston and definitely in Yellowstone. Okay? All right. Until next time.